never let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless. They don't wanna see me care. Anytime I make some progress, I can see that they compare. I think everyone's against me, maybe something in the air. Am I paranoid? I swear a void is forming and they're scared. I walk a straight path, not many can say that. I like to play fast, cross me and there's payback. You better pray that I don't see your face at any place that I go. I know you hate that. I've been doing fine, I'm not wasting any more time. I live for the fight and the climb, and I think that the pain that's deep inside is what defines. So I won't give up, I'm gonna make it to the top. I don't care what's in my way, I swear I'm never gonna stop. I could fall flat on my face and I swear I will get back up, cause I don't deserve a thing and the road ahead is tough. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Secrecy? That's a world of Mao, the world of Stalin, the world of secret police, secret trials, secret deaths. You force the press into the cold, and all you will get is lies and innuendo. And nothing is worse for a free society than a press that is in service to the military and the politicians. Nothing. You turn that camera off when I tell you to turn it off. You think I give a damn what you think about me? You serve the people? So do I.
Right, I want to get something straight here. You're going to have to fix your lighting. This is not a green suit. No, I don't wear green suits. I'm not part of the Fitzpatrick Brigade. Vote for me, I'm great. Ladies and gentlemen, what the fuck? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Chasing Dissent Live with me, John, and with Andy, both speaking to you from the nation that used to be proudly known as Scotland and has now been usurped and decimated by the SNP. Welcome. It's Friday Night Live. It's all in.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars. Crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, heart full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop off. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
And welcome to All In with me and Andy. Welcome, Andy. And how are you this fine evening? And I forgot to turn your audio on. So say hello again to the nice people.
Good evening. Can you hear me now?
They should be able to. Yeah, it wouldn't be Chasing Dissent if we didn't have technical issues. I don't know what's going on here, but my camera looks way too bright. But anyway. Right, okay, so here we go. Yep, we can hear you. They can hear you loud and clear. Okay, your picture quality is not great, but hey, that's we can work with that if we ever decide to keep
that might be a good thing.
If we ever decide to keep you. I think Ben's worried. He's worried that he's going to be replaced.
No, I don't think he's getting to worry about.
Oh, I think he might. You didn't see the thumbnail for this program, did you?
No.
Right, so the thumbnail was Louisiana. This was a genuine headline on the 8th of March, so that was only 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
So Louisiana cops, well, someone found a rotting body wrapped in polythene, wrapped in a rug behind a dumpster in Louisiana. Right? The cops have looked at it and said, "No foul play suspected." That is just
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. That is ridiculous. Right, okay, let's move on to the show proper. Right, we've got a big, you can't see the chat, but there are stacks of people in the chat, and it looks like it's all women, which is quite appropriate because was it Wednesday? Was International Women's Day?
That's true, it was.
Yes, it was International Women's Day, or was it Thursday?
Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah,
anyway. I should know this.
Yeah, you should, because you are a woman, aren't you?
Yeah.
Unlike the biological male that was presented with a Women's Achievement Award by President Biden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that even a thing?
Well, hey, you know what? It's crazy. It's crazy. Right. Have we heard from Ben? Yeah, I'm just addressing the chat before we go into it properly.
Okay, you carry on.
Yes, we have heard from Ben. I think he was going to see if he could get a nap today because he's up till 2:00 in the morning, because he's going to some kind of weird thing at Disney that only special pass holders get into.
What goes on at Disney that happens at 2:00 in the morning?
You know what? I really don't want to know. I think this could be like a Hollywood
cult.
Thing. It's a cult, yeah.
It's a cult.
It could be.
Ben.
Ben's in the cult of Disney.
Ben's in a cult.
Right. Okay, so let's go. Right, let's start with America. Okay. So America has said today that they're going to supply arms to Taiwan for their F-16 fighter jets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which seems reasonable. But you may not know that America just 3 days ago, started moaning at China because China was going to supply arms to Russia. So,
yes,
like everything in the world, it's fine if America does it. But, you know, if someone else does it for someone the Americans don't happen to like at the time, then they're just being bad. It's like America bad.
And they'll start a war.
Yeah.
Won't they?
Yeah, they will start a war.
They'll start a war.
Well, if they're supplying arms to F-16s in Taiwan, that pretty much says they want to fight the Chinese, doesn't it, over Taiwan? Because the Chinese will take Taiwan back at some point. It's not a question of when, it's a question of if. No, it's not a question of if. It's a question of when. My God, I've only had one beer.
Maybe you should put that beer down.
Yeah, maybe I should. Right. So let's move on to Ukraine then, because that's we're going to have to talk about Ukraine at some point, because the Russians appear to be doing better than one would have expected. Let me just check something. Sorry. So, yeah, right. So the Russians are going to the Russians have just about taken Bakhmut, right? Bakhmut, which is a town in the Donbass that Zelensky had put loads of his highly skilled troops into. Now, actually, let's go back to like a year ago, because Russia actually only had an army of around 170,000 troops, believe it or not. For such a big country, it only had a small standing army, which was mainly just there for defence. And they had about 170,000 troops. And what Ukraine had done at the behest of the US and NATO is they'd built their army up. They had about 400,000, maybe 400,000 troops, and then another 200,000 reservists. So they had a huge army. And they obviously built it up with the intention of some point of fighting Russia, because there's no other reason for them to have such a big army. And what happened then was that I think they provoked the war by shelling the Donbass and then shelling it more and more as we on the run up to Christmas, a year a year passed. And then they shelled even more in the January and February, and then Putin obviously moved in. At that point, Putin did what he thought was a special military operation, because he moved in, he made a quick and decisive action, and then he brought them to the negotiating table, because he'd hit those, what do you call it, the chemical labs. So he'd hit all them, he'd hit a couple of the infrastructure sites, but he hadn't really done an awful lot of damage, and he hadn't killed a lot of people. So he moved in, held his position, and then everybody went to the negotiating table and had a series of negotiations, over 2 or 3 days. And they basically had the document ready to sign. And then Boris Johnson went and visited Zelensky the day before it. And the next thing you knew, it was, game's a bogey. We're not signing it. And at that point, the Ukrainian were getting the deal that, yes, Russia would hang on to Crimea, right? But Russia would pull out of the Donbass, and the Donbass would be a separate autonomous region. So it wouldn't be part of Russia, but it wouldn't be part of Ukraine either. And then the Russia weren't going to take any of the territory that they'd already taken. They were going to pull right back out of it. And the only other stipulation was that Ukraine did not join NATO. And they were ready to sign that deal. And that would have saved the lives of I would probably at this point, maybe 700,000 people, maybe close to a million. But then Bojo visited Zelensky, and the deal was off. And the next thing you know, Ukraine's pushing the Russians back out, because Russia hadn't prepared for it. They just hadn't prepared for an invasion as such. They'd prepared for a special military operation, and Ukraine just basically pushed them all back. So then Putin goes, well, we've no option now but to fight.
Yeah.
And what he does is he calls up his reservists, and so now he's got, at this moment in time, he's probably got about 400,000 or 500,000 troops, and I think he's still got another 200,000 in training. Now, Ukraine, at this point in time, has gone from 600,000 troops, and some estimates are saying they've only got 150,000 left, because that many have been killed. Because of the way Russia works, it just acts as a big meat grinder. Everything's done with
artillery. They're a machine, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, and they just move forward, and they just grind it up, and they just sit there and pummel them with artillery. And now we're hearing that Ukraine's going to run out of ammunition for its artillery by this summer, because NATO's got none left. You can't give them any more. I mean, the UK says, I think they say they've got 5 days worth of ammo left to defend the UK, right?
Yeah.
Germany's done. Germany can't even defend itself anymore. Germany's got nothing left. And Germany didn't want to be in this fight anyway. The thing that's really pissed Germany off is the whole Nord Stream thing, which they've now come up with. Have you heard the latest fairy story about Nord Stream?
No.
Right. So they've come up, how they blew up, how Biden blew up the pipeline.
Yeah.
Well, they've now come out, the New York Times has come out saying that Ukrainian businessmen hired a yacht and went out with a couple of divers, dropped explosives on it and blew it up. And they've got pictures of the yacht, and they're trying to trace down its movements and the Ukrainian businessmen and all. It's a fairy story. I mean, they really must think we are incredibly stupid.
Well, they do. This is the problem. They do.
That is the problem, isn't it?
And the sad part is a lot of the public are incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
Because they believe what they see on TV.
Yeah, well, you're right. You're absolutely right.
They just take it at face value.
Yeah. So Ukraine at the moment is kind of in a kind of stalemate, because Ukraine's really muddy. And that sounds crazy, but you can't go anywhere in a tank if you're going to sink into 10 feet of soil. Right? So they have to wait, and the Russians aren't daft. I mean, this is what I don't understand about NATO, because some of them talk about going to war. I mean, that guy Tobias Elwood, the MP, he says we need to put boots on the grounds and go to war against Russia. Now, the last people that went to war against Russia was Adolf, when he invaded Russia and tried to take Stalingrad, and that turned into a nightmare. Now, when you attack Russia's like, it's like, how many people do you know, right, when you're being attacked, would dismantle their factories and move them lock, stock and barrel, right, further east behind their own lines, so when you actually pushed them back, there was nothing left. And Russia came up with a scorched earth policy, but they used it on themselves. What they did was, as they retreated, they left nothing, absolutely nothing for the German army. And of course, Adolf, not being maybe the brightest, went at the start of winter, which, really? Why would you? Because
it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. I mean, you've been in Central Europe when winter starts to kick in, and it gets very... I thought Scotland was cold, but bloody hell, what was it like in the Midi-Pyrenees?
It was freezing.
Yeah. I mean, it was lovely, and it looked beautiful, but it was bloody cold, wasn't it? So that's the kind of situation, apart from the fact that Zelensky has now asked Mr. Biden for banned ammunition, right? So ammunition that's been banned by the United Nations, called cluster bombs. And it's like they fire a shell or they drop a missile or whatever, and it's got all these little balls in it, which are basically bomblets. And they look like baseballs or whatever. They'll be black and made of steel. But they drop them all over the place. So he wants to drop them on the Russians, which are, bear in mind, in Ukrainian territory. Although it's a Donbass, it's supposed to be Ukrainian territory. So he wants to drop cluster bombs on his own territory to catch the Russians out. But cluster bombs are banned for a very good reason, because what happens is 10 to 15% of them don't explode when you drop them.
Yep.
Right? And then kids eventually go out and find these things and start playing with them because they look like balls. And the next thing you know, you've got kids missing arms, legs and heads. And that's not a good look. Now, in fact, this was a whole thing that Princess Diana used to do in Africa, because they used cluster bombs there. So Zelensky, he just seems to be racking up the war crimes, although nobody's calling him out for it, apart from us.
And this isn't new. They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, I know.
So it's not new.
No, it's not new. So you know how the U.S. Senate, hold on, what one? The House of Representatives get taken over by the Republicans in the midterms. So the Speaker of the House is now a Republican, McCarthy, who was always a bit of a wetty, I thought, but he has again rejected Zelensky's invitation to go and visit him in Ukraine. So maybe the guy's got a little bit of backbone. So that's quite good. I quite like that kind of thing.
He must be the only one that's rejected going to visit him. Is everybody else has been there?
Well, yeah. Have you heard about do you know that town in Ukraine called Lviv or whatever? LVIV, right? Well, they're going to have that aid, not Live Aid, Liev Aid.
Oh my God.
And guess who? Yeah, fucking U2 and Bono and all that.
No.
Yeah. Well, U2 went out to the subways and played in the subway, remember, near the start of the war. So, I mean, it's just a production, isn't it? It's a production.
That's exactly what it is.
It's ridiculous. What do you think of Ron DeSantis?
I like him.
Right, okay.
I think he's what America needs.
Yeah. As a president,
Yeah.
what would you feel any different if I told you that he's just been endorsed by the Bushes, right? And by George Soros?
Maybe.
Yeah. So that's quite worrying. I find that a bit disturbing because I thought Ron was a bit all right. I thought he was a bit of a straight shooter, but there's a couple of things he's done recently, because he came out with a bill the other day that says you have to be registered with the state as a blogger. So that would be like me, right? If I wanted to talk about an elected official in Florida.
Oh, for goodness sake. No.
And that must go against, the Constitution. It must go against freedom of speech. Surely.
So maybe he's a plant then?
He might well be. He could well be.
Yeah.
In real terms, though, are there any politicians that's ever on your side?
Probably not, no.
In fact, let's go to Scotland. What's happening here right now?
Oh, God.
So we've got Hamza useless, right?
Useless, yeah.
And we've got,
useless at every job he's ever had.
Yeah, and called out by Kate Forbes, who's running against them. And there's another one I can never remember.
The ginger.
Yeah, who's
the ginge?
Who's the third one? I can never remember who it is.
I know she's a ginge, that's all I know.
Yeah.
She must be Scottish if she's ginger.
Well, Angela Rayner's ginger, isn't she? And she's not Scottish.
Well,
Keith,
she's probably a box job. She's not a real ginger.
I don't know. She's supposed to have flashed Johnson.
But she's supposed to flash Boris, isn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put him off his stride, there's no doubt.
Oh.
Right. Anyway, so Hamza, I think it's a stitch up. I think Hamza's going to get the job.
Yeah. And how is that right? This is the guy that hates white people.
Yeah.
And he hates white people.
And yet
he spits at it.
I know, and yet 96% of the people in Scotland are what?
White.
But yeah, the other thing is, he's on record, he's on video and audio as saying he is a proud Scottish Christian. Muslim Christian.
Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah, Muslim Christian. That's what he said. He actually said he was a proud Scottish Muslim Christian. And I'm like, whoa.
That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
How does that work? Does that mean you can have the odd bacon sandwich?
And on a day where Allah tells you can kill yourself, is that okay?
Okay. Well, let's not get down that route.
Okay, let's not say that, right? Okay. I told you I would say something wrong.
But he was on he was on the campaign trail holding a dog.
They don't like dogs.
Muslims don't like dogs, do they? Because dogs are considered unclean, as are pigs. So I have no idea what's going on there.
What was he doing with the dog?
He was holding it like this. I think
is that instead of babies? Because he doesn't like babies.
Maybe the dog was trying to get away. I'm not quite sure what our screen is doing. We seem to have a big bar at the bottom, but you know what? I'm not going to muck about with it because things just went awry. No. Because our streaming software has changed. Well, not the streaming software, but the conversation software has changed, and it's not as good as it was because we couldn't afford to pay for it, could we?
No.
It's as simple as that. So, on that note, if you think Chasing Dissent is worth any kind of subsistence, then please send us your cash Send cash. You can support us at ko-fi.com, chasing Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/chasing dissent. And if you did it during the show, you would get the siren, and an automated voice would read out words of your choosing. Pardon me. You can also get us on patreon.com/chasing dissent. And you can make a paypal.me donation at paypal.me/chasing this. That's DISS. Because for some reason, someone has Chasing Dissent. That's a bit strange. Now, why would anyone on PayPal have Chasing Dissent other than us?
They've hacked you.
No, I think they're just trying to. Was that your new phone?
No, it's my watch for some reason.
All right. So, moving on. What's the chat room saying? Let's have a look at the chat room. Angela has definitely died, says Shalini. Yep, I think you're right.
Yep.
Right, so Andy agrees with that. Ben's looking rather pretty tonight. Has he had a facelift or what? Yeah, well, I think he's been on a facelift to look like that.
He's dyed his hair.
Tony Garrett says, being a proud Muslim Christian is a bit like being a proud Rangers Celtic fan. And that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, Tony. That's a good one. Good to see Andy interjecting as DW being cheeky, because she's finding her feet. It's her first time on All In. And All In's a different kind of, it's a bit punchier generally. She doesn't appear to be drinking either. I'm quite disturbed by that.
Who said that?
Are you drinking?
Oh, you said that?
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, I'm taking my time.
Taking your time. Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got? So Luke says he thought he was going to get sacked, but his boss said he was sackless. So not to worry. I don't know if that's a joke or not. So Shalini says, speaking of poochies, how is your dog? The dog seems to be quite well. She's behaving herself, and she's been more affectionate since Sean's got a job. So she actually comes and sees me when I go up and visit her. Is she there just now? Oh, the dog
Hold on.
Here. The dog might be here.
2 seconds. I need to take my earphone out.
We need a hydrate button for people to press so that Andy doesn't keel over.
Oh. There. Hang on, I can't hear you.
Right, so they
No,
want
don't
to
do that.
turn my microphone up. Why is my microphone got quieter? This is bizarre.
Yeah.
How's
Say
that?
hi.
Is that any better, guys? So we'll see if
I
that's
can
any...
hear you.
Yeah, I know you can, but come on, troll room, give us some feedback. Thank you. Yes, says Robin. Thank you, Robin. 5x5. Yep. Yes, we were on Rise this morning. Actually, it was John and Ben. Yeah, it wasn't Andy. It was.
Was Ben there as well this morning?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. He never at his best in the morning, but he didn't do too bad because he's an hour ahead, so he's a wee bit further on than he normally is. Woof. She's such a sap. Look at that dog. It's spoiled stupid. Hey, Lexi, what you doing? Ah, you big sap. Hey, Lexi, speak to me. She's not going to do it, is she?
You can't hear
She
you.
can't hear me. She can't
Hold
hear
on.
me.
Hang on.
Oh, careful.
Right, that's better now.
Lexi, speak. No, she's not going to do it.
No, she's not doing it.
Yep.
Right, she needs to go.
Yeah. What does Lexi think of Putin? I don't know. What do you think
What
about
does she think about
Putin?
She likes him.
See, it's not just me that's a communist sympathiser.
She thinks he would be a good prime minister.
Yeah, he probably would. I was thinking, what's her name? That Carrie Lake would be a good prime minister as well. She's quite good.
Who's Carrie Lake?
She's the one that didn't get she didn't win Arizona.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. Right.
Yeah,
okay. I was away somewhere else there.
She's quite well spoken. She comes across pretty well. Yeah.
Hang on.
I probably did confuse the dog. Putting the headphones back in.
Yeah, sorry. Say that again.
I'm saying she comes across quite well. I think I think she was talking about being Donald Trump's running mate, but I don't know what's going to happen there. I don't know. I think Donald Trump's had his time. I don't think
he's too old. He's too old.
Yeah, and it's not even that he's too old. He's had his chance, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he can go back now, but I might be wrong. Right. Robin says, "What does she think of Hillary Clinton?" Right.
You don't want to know, Robin, what I think of Hillary Clinton.
And speaking of Hillary Clinton, do you know that two people have died that are very closely associated with the Clintons in the last week? One of them was a billionaire friend of theirs has died after. Why would a billionaire that was 78 years old shoot himself?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another guy died in a plane crash. A former Clinton lawyer died in a plane crash. Yes, so I have no intention of flying anywhere, and I am not thinking of taking my own life.
Were they gonna maybe tell some secrets? Maybe.
Well, hey, with the Clintons, I mean the body count must be nearly 60 by. Pardon me, it must be nearly 60 by now. Right, where are we? Soon as he leaves.
Like Graham.
As soon as he leaves, the better. Right, so Sunak and Macron met this week. It was like a meeting of it was like a meeting of tiny little homunculi.
Tiny little.
What I wondered was, did Sunak phone him beforehand and goes, look, what's his name? What's Macron's first name?
Emmanuel.
Did you go, Emmanuel? No heels.
No.
No heels now.
But then he wore his anyway. Yeah.
Who did? Sunak.
Sunak. Yeah. Wishy-washy.
Oh my God. And so originally it was reported that he was going to give him 200 million or something to build a new refugee centre in the north of France, to house the refugees and stop them coming across the channel. But now it's up to 500,000 already. 500,000. It's crazy. I think the whole thing's a joke. And but what gets me is people like Jeremy Corbyn and this, Cali, that charity that works in Cali, the one that's usually shagging the refugees. They're charity workers, but they end up shagging the refugees and getting pregnant and all sorts of shenanigans.
Right.
But anyway, they and like Jeremy Corbyn that say, but nobody tries to cross the channel if they're not desperate. But I mean, you've lived in France. Was it desperate?
It's lovely. No.
Were you desperately trying to get back out of it?
No.
No.
No. They just don't give you free money.
No, they don't.
They don't give you handouts.
Not initially. Yeah.
No, you have to be there 3 years. You have to have earned your keep.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas that's why they're coming here, because they know they'll come here. They'll get put up in hotels. They'll get given all the money. They get given more money than British people. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I know. I mean, what was it? That Care for Cali. That's it. Care for Cali posted a tweet today and it said, "Look, Snow has fallen this morning in Calais, and these refugees are living in tents, right? And that's exactly why they won't stay in France, because France don't give them a house.
They don't put them up in hotels.
They don't put them up in hotels generally. I think they actually do get put up in some kind of accommodation if they give their fingerprints over, right? But a lot of them won't do that. They won't give their fingerprints over. So they put them up in tents, they put them up in tent cities, and they give them the bare necessities. And that's why they leave France. And if we did the same thing, do you think they might just go back?
Well, they might not come here.
Yeah.
If they knew that's what they were going to get. But they know different.
Yeah, they must be desperate, says Tony, as I'm not coming here for the weather.
No,
it must,
exactly.
You know what? I mean, fair enough, Albanians and things like that, but you imagine coming here from Somalia or somewhere like that. And turning up and then getting put up in Aberdeen or something like that. And thinking, what the hell have I done? They'd be like, I'm frozen.
I know.
There's no sun. Where is the sun gone?
And I've got no jacket or shoes.
Yeah. Oh, and then what's with this walking about naked thing? What's all that about with black people? There was one photograph in Paisley Road West the other day. Paisley Road West, walking about buck naked. A big black guy, and he wasn't a skinny wee runt. He was like a big black guy, you know.
What?
Like
an immigrant?
Yeah, well, I guess so. Generally.
How would you tell in Paisley Road West?
Yeah,
no
yeah,
offense.
but they're generally not black in Paisley Road West. They're more like Hamza Useless colour, which is not white.
It's not. No, it's not white.
Not white. White.
Listen, if he's that desperate, he might start identifying as a white man if he wants to be First Minister. Or is that just a step too far?
Yeah, it probably is. No, he wouldn't do that, would he? Because he I don't know. It's just like they're so. I mean, what do these people have? Because they don't have any intelligence, do they? I mean, look at Kate Forbes, the wee free. She's not the sharpest tack in the box, right? She really isn't. And yet, I mean, she's the finance. She's the finance minister, isn't she? And where's the 600k? Where's the 600k, Peter? Where's that?
Yeah.
Still
well,
missing.
to be fair, she wasn't really responsible for that. She took over from that other clown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's just as culpable, but she wasn't responsible for the 600k.
Yeah. But Peter is. Peter's responsible for the 600k. And the ferries. We got.
So
some
what's going to happen? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've now got windows.
Yeah. Windows.
Instead of painted out black bits, they've got windows.
People didn't believe us either when we said that, Nicola was coming to see the ferries and they weren't quite ready for viewing, so they just painted windows on them, and people said, I see the ferries have got windows, but they look funny. That's because they're not windows.
Because they're not windows.
They've just painted the shape of windows onto the ferry. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Oh.
Someone that we know had said to her husband, who works there, you should get in the window and maybe get on the news. And he went, because it's not a window.
Get in the window and you might be in the news.
Get in the window and you might go on the news.
You get 3/4 inch thick steel.
That's so bad.
Oh, I remember they built the bridge. They built that kind of squinty bridge next to the other Forth Road bridge. But I'm talking nonsense. They built
Glasgow.
No, they built a bridge in Kincardine.
Right.
You know, in Carden Bridge, well, they built one next. Was it the one next to it? So they built one next to it, and you can only use it when it's not cold, because it's over the Firth of Forth. When it's cold, the wind freezes the rain onto the steel, and it's likely to fall off and go through your car roof. So they have to shut it when it's cold.
Oh, for heaven's
And that's in
sake.
Scotland.
Where it's always cold.
Yeah, when it's always cold. I mean, the bridge must be shut from like October to June. I mean, people are saying this week, you know, I see them on Twitter and they're saying things like, "Oh, I've never known snow in March." I tell you what, I've known snow in June.
Yeah, every year.
Yeah, you always get snow towards the end of February and March. But yeah, definitely. I mean, I've seen it. I think we actually had it in July once. But I've seen
that's right.
I've seen it in June 2 or 3 times. No problem. Oh, right. Let's have a quick check of the chat. Anything? Who wants a bridge? Blah blah blah. How's life? Blah blah blah. Bring back the Waverley. Bring back the Waverley. Do you remember the Waverley? Do you remember the captain of the Waverley?
No.
No, the captain of the Waverley used to keep running into things.
Oh, really?
So he nearly sank.
Well, he was in the Waverley.
Yeah, the guy who was the captain of the Waverley used to keep running into things with the Waverley, yeah?
Right, I thought you meant just on his own.
No, he used to keep running into things. He nearly sunk the bloody thing 2 or 3 times. And this is, I think it's the last ocean-going paddle steamer in the world. This isn't confined to a river. This is an ocean-going paddle steamer. And, yeah, he nearly sunk the thing. I've been on the Waverley. It's quite impressive. Got big engines. And those big paddle wheels that go around and make loads of noise. But it's actually, it's a good trip. But the captain's he was a bit dodgy. A bit like the old guy that was running the Costa Concordia. Remember the guy that... Yeah, well, there you go, Trudy. It was always broken when we were in air. Yeah, well, it would be because he was running into things. The Waverley was a pain in the butt as well because my friend's dad had a yacht and the yacht club in there. And when the Waverley was in, you couldn't get out because he used to put a rope across the front of the yacht club. So you
Why?
To tie up the boat because it was so long. So it would tie up at the quay, right? But the rope from the front of it would go across the front of the yacht club so you couldn't get in and out. You had to wait for the Waverley to leave before you could get in and out.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah. Right, where are we now? Celebs. Speaking of refugees, pardon me, did you see the celebs?
Are you going to mention Lineker?
No, well, I will, but not yet.
Oh.
But did you see the celebs coming out in support of the refugees? Oh,
like who?
Right. Oh, like Meryl Streep, and there was Sylvester Stallone, and there's a whole stack of them, and they're all going. It was all like if you're fleeing an armed insurrection, you're a criminal, you know, this kind of thing. I mean, the whole thing was ridiculous. It's sickening. I couldn't actually watch it because it's just ridiculous, and these people are like, I don't know, it's disgusting. I just find it abhorrent. I really do.
But they don't live in the real world, that's the problem.
That's a good point, because let's talk about Lineker, right? So Lineker works for the BBC, right? Lineker gets a salary of what, 1.3 million or something a year? Okay.
Too much.
Yeah, hence the big tax bill. He's still not paid. So the question is, should Lineker be entitled to say what he likes on social media? Now, in some respects, you would think, yes, he should, because he is a person and he's entitled to freedom of speech. Yeah, right? Whereas on the other side of the coin, he is a celebrity with a massive following of generally slightly dim-witted people, right? Who will then be easily swayed by his words. So should he then rein it in when he's talking to people like that? But that's the question. Just because he works for the BBC, should he not be able to say what he thinks on social media? So it's a difficult one, you know?
That is difficult. I mean, I can't stand him. So his opinion means nothing to me. And I think he talks shit anyway, so... But yeah, there's the other side of the coin. I don't want to hear what he has to say.
But is he entitled to say it?
Yeah, purely because I don't agree with him and I don't like him. But so anything that he said, is it all on social media? It wasn't on.
So what happened was, Ella Braverman, the Home Secretary's going on about cutting down the refugees and all that and stopping them. And I think what he's and this barrister guy on, I can't remember who it was, but this barrister guy goes, it's lazy reporting because people are saying that he's comparing Ella Braverman's policies to 1930s Germany, right?
Yes, right, I heard that.
Right. And he's saying that's not what he said. What he said was that the language was redolent of 1930s Germany, which means strongly suggestive or sympathetic to 1930s Germany. Now, if the language describing what she's doing is suggestive of 1930s Germany, does that not indicate to you that he is actually saying that her policies are suggestive of 1930s Germany? So I don't see what that guy's point is. I really don't. Right? But again, we're back to the question. If he's saying that as a BBC presenter, then is that right or wrong? Right?
Well, it's wrong. Right? So he shouldn't be saying it.
Why? But we're on here just now and we're commentating as... I mean, we could be BBC presenters because we're probably better than most of them, but we're commentating as you know, as citizen journalists, right?
But he's not a news presenter. He's a sports presenter.
Well,
so it's completely irrelevant to sport.
Good point. Right. So
he should stick to what he thinks he knows.
Well, let's say he's not saying it. So he's not saying it as a BBC presenter. Is he perfectly entitled on his own social media to say it as Gary Lineker? Because are you perfectly entitled to say on your social media whatever you think about something as Andy? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I just find it very hard to agree when he says so.
Well, yes.
But yeah,
that's your choice.
Yeah.
It's not your choice to tell him he can or cannot say it. It's your choice to say, well, I hear what you're saying. I don't agree with it, and I don't like it. But you're perfectly entitled to say it. You know. And that's the point. It gets tricky because, but then you've got to think. But he's still got this massive following of sheep who will then go, oh, well, he's right.
Yeah.
The thing is,
and it's easy for him to say it, but he's not the one that has to deal with them because he lives in his gated community or his big mansion or his whatever it is. I don't know where he lives, but
yeah. Tony brings up, what does his contract stipulate? Well, you'd probably find that his contract's pretty loose because if he, as he purports to be as a freelancer, right? And this is another thing that conflicts me as well because should you pay tax? You know? I mean, tax is theft, right? So if you can avoid paying tax, you should avoid paying tax. Now, evading tax is against the law, and we put laws in place to stop people doing that, and that's fine, right? But if you can find ways of avoiding paying tax, that's perfectly legal. And yet HMRC and the media seem to think that's not legal, but it is.
Yeah, but you know, my major issue with this is that normal people don't usually find ways of avoiding paying tax. It's usually people like Lineker
Yeah.
and celebrities who can afford to pay tax,
Yeah.
and they choose to avoid it. Whereas Joe Public, like you and me, don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, I know.
Because if you work for someone else, your tax is already sorted for you. You don't get a choice. You can't decide what you're going to pay and what you're not going to pay. Or you don't have an accountant working for you.
Yeah, exactly. They take it off its source. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't decide not to pay tax. I mean, it's like, even
So
if
it's one rule for some and one...
even if I don't live in this country, right,
Mhm.
I still pay the British government tax on my tiny pension
Yeah.
and national insurance, even though I do not live in the country. So if I move abroad, I still pay tax at source. But it's completely
That's just
wrong.
wrong.
It is
Yeah.
wrong.
And where does it go? That's what I would like to know. Where does all that money go?
Tax money.
Mhm.
Well, right, the whole monetary system's just a fiction. That's the problem, because
Yeah, I know.
money's just all made up. It's just figures in a book. Oh, well, it's not even figures in a book now. It's numbers on a computer screen. And really, there's no accounting for where it's going and where it's not. Although there appears to be a bit of an issue in America because the banks have started to have runs on them. And we touched on this the other day on one of the other shows. But there's a bank in California called Silicon something bank. Oh God, I can't remember. But it's a kind of tech bank. All the startup tech companies go to it, and everybody's pulled their money out. So that bank's going to fall apart. That bank, it's got no money left. I mean, apparently banking shares are down, and the big four banks are down 52 billion. So they've lost 52 billion, lost being a paper number or a computer generated number, right? But they've lost 52 billion. So the banking system is actually now starting to feel the effects of the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Which people are still cannot compute that closing your economy for 2 years isn't going to have a knock-on effect.
A knock-on effect, which it has done, and it has. It's for normal people, it hit them quicker, and now it's hitting them.
Yeah, yeah, and small businesses in particular have been left by the wayside, just thrown out on the curb to be picked up by the rubbish. Oh. Reparations. So some MP stands up in Westminster today and says that we should be paying reparations to the Caribbean for the 400 years of torture and horrible treatment that we've imposed on them. What do you think of that?
No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything. It's like you should be paying reparations for the slaves that you had.
I've never had a slave.
But your parents must have had slaves.
No.
Did your grandparents have slaves?
When did this become a thing?
No.
That
you're responsible for your ancestors.
Yeah. Why can't we just accept that mistakes were made? Thinking was way different back then. And we've learned lessons. You can't be pulling down statues or paying back money for things that happened hundreds of years ago. That's just stupid.
That is stupid. Yeah, you're right. But people are doing it. I mean, for no good reason. Oh. Tax bad, it pays for war. Yeah, that's true. Well, it does, yeah. Wars of bankers' wars. Yeah, we should pay tax, but decide what it's spent on. Well, why should we pay tax, Robin? That's a good question. Why should we pay tax? Right? Because if you look at the wealthiest nations in the world, don't tax. Do not tax their citizens. So think about that. Oh, why do we have to pay tax? Because countries that are smaller than us, that make less of a GDP, yet they don't tax their own citizens. So remember, tax was brought in following the Napoleonic War to pay for the Napoleonic War, and it was then repealed, I think, for about 15 months. And then they brought it back in because they just thought it was that great an idea that they just thought they'd brought it back in and leave it forever.
Free money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tax shouldn't exist. Why? I mean, it's like Ben always goes on about it, but you're taxed multiple times because you pay tax on your wage, you pay tax on the then money that you get after being taxed. You pay extra tax when you buy things like VAT and fuel duty. So you get tax. I mean, you get hammered when you buy petrol or diesel.
Yep.
You know, you're paying like another 86 pence for every pound you spend straight to the government. But you've already paid 20%.
You've already paid it off your salary.
You've already paid 30%, 33% of your salary to the government. So how much fucking money is the government taking off you? And it's taking a shitload. And what's it doing with it? It's spunking it on Zelensky in Ukraine.
Yeah.
That's what it's doing with it. Right. I think we've actually just about run out of talking points. So it's going to be a shorter show.
That's a first.
I know.
Go on.
Right. So there was a secondary school in Colombia, I think. Yeah, Colombia, right? South America. In which 29 girls were taken to hospital after playing with a Ouija board. Right? So 29 girls were taken to hospital with anxiety after playing with a Ouija board. I think this has been a case of mass hysteria, and this happens occasionally. You see this. I'm just wondering, do you ever remember anything like this happening when you were younger, and where there was like, because I remember there was something maybe 10 or 15 years ago about a faint, there was a whole school in which like stacks of kids were fainting and they never found out why. Kids just fainted. And they took them all to hospital because they thought there was a gas leak or something like that, but there was nothing to account for it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's weird. But I think it's mass hysteria, and I think it is. I think it happens. And these kids have obviously been in a big, they'll be in a big group and their pals and all that, and then they'll go, oh, such and such get. That's happened to them, and then they get.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows you how quickly these things can still happen in the modern world, especially among children. Right,
and it doesn't help that they're privy to social media, and all it takes is one thing to start.
Yeah, you're right.
And then the next thing you know, it's gone round them all. It's nuts.
Yeah, that doesn't take long at all, does it?
No.
Julie C says, perhaps Andy should share some funny stories about John.
Funny stories.
See, I'm not that funny. I'm a bit of an arsehole.
I don't know if they're no, I don't know if they're broadcastable.
Well, it's Friday night and it's all in. So, what kind of funny stories were you thinking of?
Oh God, now you're asking.
Oh, see. Shame
off the top of my head, I can't even.
Shame him.
Off the top of my head, listen. You don't. Well, I could go back to my birthday this year and I could shame you.
Oh, that's a tradition now.
That you just mess up.
Yeah, I always mess up your birthday.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
I can't think. There's loads. There's actually loads, but I just can't. I can't think of one off the top of my head.
There you go. See, I'm not that bad.
I'll listen. You know me.
Yeah,
I could sit down and write this down. I could write a book about you.
Yeah. Afterwards.
Yeah.
Say, I should have said this. I should have said that. Well, but
I know.
you didn't, did you?
I'll just send it to Ben.
Oh no! Don't tell him. Oh. Right. Is that us then? Have you got anything you want to talk about? Seen any
Can't
decent
think of
movies?
anything. No, I watched that in the fall, but it was weird.
Was it
But it was-
was it a modern movie? Is it?
Yeah,
What's it on?
but Netflix, I think.
Right. Okay. And what was it about? Roughly.
It's about climbing and falling.
Oh. Right. Okay.
Yeah, it was
don't like
it was a bit
heights,
weird.
Do you?
No, but it wasn't my choice.
Right. Okay.
It was our daughter's choice, so I watched it. I fell asleep towards the end, as I do with every single thing. And then she kept waking me up and saying, "Are you watching this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm watching it."
Yeah.
So I don't actually know what happened in it, but it was a weird movie.
I tried to watch Puss in Boots 2 and I found it awful. Just awful. I mean, the
I haven't seen it. I don't know what it's like.
The humour in it just seemed to be so forced. I just couldn't take that at all. I got 26 minutes in and turned it off. Just rubbish. Right. So when you come back, Andy, Robin says, bring a list.
I will. I'm not the best with memory. Well, I'm not the best on the spot with memory, but if given time, I could write a whole book.
I thought you'd be fine
About
because
you.
you've had enough alcohol to kill off all the unfit brain cells. You know, I thought that all the ones left would be right up there.
Yeah. I should probably have not had alcohol and that would have been better. Then you'd have been sorry.
Right, okay, so with that, if you like what you've seen tonight, then please like, share or subscribe. Put a comment in the video. Tell us how beautiful Andy is and all that. And because these things help with the algorithm. And then if you can afford it and you want to, you can always support us if you want to. No pressure. We'll continue to give you as much as we can until we run completely out of money.
I'll give you £1.
Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome.
So with that, it's good night from me and Andy.
It's good night from him.
So it's been a shorter show, but hey, we'll get better.
Next time Ben's off, I'll do some research. You didn't give me a lot of time, to be fair.
Well, you don't have a lot of time, to be fair.
Yeah,
really. I mean,
that's true. I don't have a lot of time.
What time did you start working this morning?
7.
Right. What time did you finish your first shift?
I finished
11?
5.
No.
No. Yeah.
You went home for what? You went home for an hour, and you probably did your email when you were at home, and phone calls, and then you come back in at what, 12:30 or something, and then worked right through till 5.
To 5, yeah. And that's a short day for me. Normally I'm 7 till 8:30.
Yeah. Yes. So this is what you've got to do when you're trying to run a business, and not pay staff, because paying staff, as much as we'd love to pay staff, and we used to be able to pay staff, but paying staff costs money, and we don't have the money to pay staff because we. Well, what did the electricity bill go up by? It went from what, 37 pence a kilowatt to
138 pence. 138 pence.
138. So there you
go.
So the bill
daylight robbery.
The bill went from like what, £300 a month to $3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they've then said that as of April, the wholesale price of electricity is coming down, so they can pass that on to us. Well, actually, the wholesale price, it came down in October, so why wasn't it passed on to us in October?
Yeah, the wholesale price of gas came down in October, so why is it not?
Yeah, because they're robbing bastards. That's what they are.
Profiteering.
Yeah.
It's exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. So with that, I'd like to thank one and all for attending this, the 23rd episode of Chasing Dissent live, Friday night, all in. With that, it's been great for you.
Generation
quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah.